Hi, this is Jeff Wimmer from Studio Cycles and StudioCycles.com, and in this short YouTube video I want to talk about the Schwinn AC Performance being discontinued for 2013. Now, when the ACs came out roughly 4 years ago, there were three models. There's the AC Classic, which if they made it would be here. The AC Classic was black. It was a very basic AC, but it did have magnetic resistance. It did have the ISIS bottom bracket, and it had a fixed gear flywheel with perimeter weighting, but the handlebar was a bit stripped down. And then they made the AC Sport, which is where they introduced Smart Release, a much more dynamic handlebar with more positions. And then from the AC Sport, you went to the AC Performance, which was the top dog. It's the hot rod of the lineup. And when you go from the Sport to the Performance, the Sport is gray, the Performance is white. The Sport is steel, the Performance is aluminum. Now, conventional wisdom would tell you aluminum's better, right? If for no other reason, for corrosion issues. But in my experience, and I'm the only outside consultant to Schwinn on the AC bikes and have been for 2 years prior to them ever even landing in the market, the paint process behind the AC Sport is such that corrosion is a non-issue. And even with the AC Performance, with all the aluminum, you know, the aluminum towers, the aluminum frame, the aluminum bases, corrosion doesn't develop any faster on the Sport than it does on the Performance. Now for 2013, they've introduced the AC Performance Plus. And the AC Performance Plus takes the place of the Performance. Okay? The differences between the Performance and the Performance Plus, the Performance has Smart Release, which is a clutch mechanism that allows the rider to stop pedaling on a dime, and the flywheel will come to a stop independently of the drivetrain. It's not a freewheel. You would not want a freewheel. Bikes that have perimeter weighting, that produce aggressive inertia, that have free wheels, they suck. They're the worst things on the planet, because you start pedaling, you produce aggressive inertia, the flywheel's cooking, you stop pedaling, the flywheel keeps humming, and then you have to catch back up to the speed of the flywheel to re-engage the drivetrain. Very awkward, very choppy, very nasty. So AC Sport, Smart Release, AC Performance, Smart Release, AC Performance Plus, no Smart Release. They've dropped it off the bike. And I believe that from a liability perspective, because they move the perimeter weighting on the flywheel inward 3 to 4 inches, it minimizes the aggressive inertia to the point where it's far, far, far less libelous in an unsupervised setting. Okay? But if you want Smart Release for 2013, you want an AC Sport. Let's say you are saddled with a medical condition, and on a bike like this, you may need to stop pedaling on a dime, on a second, on a half a second, or you could potentially face violent, debilitating injury from the aggressive inertia. That being the case, you'd want an AC Sport, not a Performance Plus. So on the Performance Plus, they've eliminated Smart Release. Okay, one of the biggest things, or the couple of the biggest things with the AC Performance Plus in terms of evolution, is going to be the handlebar. Okay, on the Sport and the Performance, you have positive, neutral, and negative for handlebar adjustments. You can move it forwards, you can put it neutral like a standard handlebar, or backwards for petite riders. AC Performance, same concept. Positive, neutral, negative. Okay? AC Performance Plus, micro adjustable. Okay? You can move it a millimeter, you can move it an inch. Okay? But besides the ability to micro adjust the seat slider and the handlebars, it's the handlebar design themselves. Now, there are a couple of bikes that have arrow handlebars. The Le Mans is one, the Kaiser's the other. Okay? I believe on the Le Mans you need arms like an orangutan, and you're still resting your forearms on a round pipe which tends to dig in on the meat of the forearm, okay? On the AC Sport and the AC Performance, they have flat spots, platforms. This is huge because I believe when you engage the aero position correctly and comfortably, you don't have to be hunched like Lance Armstrong, but when you engage the aero position, load the resistance, drop your heels, and do what I call grinding a hill from the saddle, it really engages the butt, the quads, and the core like nobody's business, okay? So the Sport has flat spots. The Sport has a correct biomechanical curve, as does the Performance, okay? That, my friends, is a nice flat spot, nice comfort, nice biomechanical curve. I mean, these handlebars are just as good as it gets. But when you look at the Performance Plus handlebar, this isn't groundbreaking technology. Okay, the bicycle industry have come up with different conceptual things with their handlebars and saddles. Specialized, for example, has a program called Body Geometry, which I really love. It's just things that are built around the human body. On the handlebar on the Performance Plus, it's got this is it. This is the holy grail of indoor cycling handlebars. Nice, big, wide, flat spots to rest the hands on if you're standing and running, or if you're seated and climbing. But if you're in the aero position, this is it right here, folks. Plus, they've added a loop on top. And again, flat spots. And additionally, if that weren't enough, because all that's better than everything else on the market, hands down, they've also added a flat spot to hand position 3, which is biomechanically more correct, more comfortable, more forgiving. So when you're out of the saddle climbing, this is just badass. I mean, it just really feels good. So additionally, with the AC Performance Plus, fatter fork legs, bigger, beefier bottom bracket section on the frame on the Performance Plus versus the Sport or the Performance. If you look at the bottom bracket beam here, it's different sections. If you look at the bottom bracket beam here, it's shaped, I mean, from an engineering perspective, it's just much more stout. Although, I will tell you, I'm 5'11", about 195 pounds, and I can mash the hell out of these bikes. I don't feel bottom bracket movement in any of these bikes. But, say you're a 500-pound lumberjack masher, which you do exceed the weight limit, this bottom bracket beam combined with an ISIS bottom bracket, you'd have to be on PCP and 500 pounds and just a lot of really weird stuff stacked to be able to break or make any of this stuff move. Because this is bomb-proof, badass stuff. So, Schwinn AC Performance Plus is our best seller. It's a bike I believe in. It's a bike that's biomechanically correct for tall, petite, everybody in between. It's really a beautiful bike. Again, perimeter weighting in the flywheel, ISIS bottom bracket, micro adjustability, integrated bottle cages, super badass handlebar that no other handlebar on any of the bikes compare. In fact, I think if you took all the best parts of all the other handlebars and put them together, they still wouldn't be half as good as this handlebar. I think this handlebar makes the bike worth the price of admission alone. So the AC Performance, as of April 2013, is discontinued. Okay, and I would caution you to be careful of buying used ones as well. Here's some phone numbers for me. I'm running out of time. Home office 888-909-BIKE. Cell phone 818-470-2204. My office here in Hawthorne, where I'm normally at in the afternoons and the evenings, 310-973-BIKE. I'm Jeff Wimmer from Studio Cycles and StudioCycles.com. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and best of luck to you on your road to health and fitness.